Happy New Year! I don't want to hear that it's almost February of 2024. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that I haven't made a video since November. But here I am now. It's time for another book report, guys. I'm sure you already saw what the title is, but we're going to act like you can't read, because that's a pretty big part of today's book. Before we get started, my name is Celeste. I love reading, and sometimes I really love reading semi-shitty books. So sometimes I make book reports on them, which is just a little PowerPoint. First of all, I just want to say, I know this isn't a lot by YouTube or internet standards, but thank you guys for 260 subscribers. I've had this YouTube channel since I was a sophomore in high school. To put in perspective, I'm going to be 26 this year. And it's always kind of sat at around like 30 some subscribers just from when I used to do K-pop videos. So I'm very grateful that people are subscribing to my channel now, even though I make really shitty book reviews. Thank you so much for all the love that I've gotten on my Haunting and Hunting Adeline videos. Yeah, I just wanted to be very thankful since I missed the thankful season here on this channel. But that's really all I have to say. So without further ado, look at that. Oh my God. So since it's almost Valentine's Day, I thought, why not make a little heart for everyone? Because I just love book report. Wow, that's an ugly ass heart. I just love book report. That's me. This is me. Oh, look at me. That's me. Don't act like it's not me. Okay. Again, we're pretending like you can't read and you don't know what today's video is about. Okay? So here's what it is. Oh shit. That was what, wow. I think I forgot to finish. Just kidding. It's a court of red flags and horny bitches time. Woo! Just kidding. It's ACOTAR. A Court of Thorns and Roses, which arguably I think my title is a lot better. If you've seen a book report before, you know the drill. If you haven't, we're going to get right into the characters of the story. We're going to break it up by characters, plot, what I like, what I don't like, and final thoughts. So, of course, we're going to kick it off with the main girl of the book, Feyre. She is, you can't really see right now because I am blocking. Hold on. She is the world's angriest teenage girl. Now, okay, I should say right now, obviously, spoilers, if I made an entire PowerPoint about a book, I'm going to talk about the smallest parts of this book. If you haven't read ACOTAR, or if you've somehow lived under a rock this long and don't know anything about the book, but would like to read the book, don't watch this video. If you have, or if you don't care, feel free to continue watching. I forgot to give that disclaimer at the beginning. So anyways, here is our main gal, our main girl, Feyre Archeron, that girl. So first things first, Sarah J. Maas really ate with this one's name. I mean, come on. How else are you gonna know what this girl's about? Feyre. She turns into a fae. She's an archer. Come on. So clever. That was really great work, Sarah J. Maas. What, do you think I am fucking stupid?
Yes.
She's definitely not Katniss. Even though she sometimes reminds me of Katniss, she's definitely not Katniss. Although let's be honest, The Hunger Games was in full swing when I'm pretty sure Sarah J. Maas was writing this book, so I would not be surprised if she is Katniss inspired. Because she is definitely Katniss inspired. This is a huge part of her character in this book. This bitch is illiterate. She can't read a single fucking word. She also is constantly like, I'm so plain. I'm not beautiful like my sister Elaine. But then she's literally like the beauty standard. So So where are lines crossing here, Sarah? Is she an average Jane or is she fucking Bella Hadid? Like where are we going wrong? She also doesn't listen to men, which, you know what? Good for you, girl. Because I also don't like listening to men. I'm going to give her flowers. She is a bit of a badass in this book and the series. Most of the series. And she likes Biscuit. So I'm going to call her furry. Because even though they don't do it while Tamlin is in the beast form, he's still kind of a furry. Okay, speaking of the garbage man, Tamlin. He is a literal garbage man. I was tabbing this book because, okay, so I'm rereading the series. This is my second go around. I forgot to mention that. I'm rereading it before Crescent City, which I am not going to finish, honestly, before the third Crescent City book comes out, which is literally on Tuesday, and I haven't finished A Court of Mist and Fury. But, so I was tabbing, and so I had a red flags tab, and I used it a lot. Like, he is the red flag. As you can see, I skipped a bullet, but he is the red flag. He is the red flag manufacturer. The distributor of red flags. And, like, I'll be honest, in retrospect and through reading the series again, he's not the worst character ever. Trust me, he is not the worst man I have ever read. But he could definitely, like, not be the way that he is. Because the way that he is still kind of fucking awful. He is the epitome of there are two wolves inside of me. He literally shapeshifts into, like, a giant beast wolf thing. He is the High Lord of the Spring Court, which is why, you know, Spring Court, more like spring on this dick. I am so sorry. We're gonna just continue. Lucien is my bitch. He is on his queen shit all the time. That poor man has to put up with Tamlin all the time, so he is one of God's strongest soldiers. He's almost up there with people with tummy aches. Like, God bless that man, he is quite the veteran. I like him because he doesn't let Feyre be on her bullshit all the time. He literally, like, left Feyre to almost get fucking murdered in the book. Which, you know what? She kind of needed humbled. So, and then later on in the book, one of my favorite parts is that he literally found out that Feyre couldn't read almost the hard way. Man's almost died because this bitch couldn't sound out SH or any of the letters of the alphabet. She don't even know the fucking alphabet. So, last character that I'm going to put, this is Rhysand. Big Dick is back in town because apparently that's all he's known for in this goddamn series. Along with all of the Fae men, Rhysand is still, I'm still going to call him old as fuck because he is old as fuck. What is he, like 500 years old? I know Tamlin is too, but, like, he's got other things that are going, like, not really going well for him. He's borderline creepy in this book, which it gets explained in the latter book in Court of Mist and Fury, but for me, trying to think about this just as this book, he's still really fucking creepy. But I guess it's fine, whatever. He is the Shadow Man, the mystery Shadow Man. Like the one in Princess and the Frog, that's Rhysand. And I'm gonna give him his flowers too. He also kind of queened out under the mountain. Like he kind of did his thing, and he did it well. Okay. Now we are getting into the plot. The most fun part of this book report. Oh no, I forgot. Holy fuck. Wow, I forgot. Oh, I forgot that I put this in there. Oh, wow. And all I wrote was raggedy old hag. That is so true. She is such a raggedy bitch. And I included this picture because that's literally that's how she fucking dies. Okay, sorry. Wow. I did not remember everything that I put in this. So let's get into the plot. Whoa. Yeah, it surprises me every time, guys. Let me move myself over here. Okay, so we're gonna start over here. Feyre, who I've talked to you about, she is definitely not Katniss, is a poor-ass girl with an even worse family. She's got 2 sisters, Nesta and Elaine, and a deadbeat fucking dad. Her dad used to be like this giant merchant who was like king of the seas or whatever, and then he lost all of his money, and then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna send out my youngest daughter to go hunt, even though I have my bitchy oldest daughter and my fucking rug of a middle child. I'm gonna send this one. And you know what made it worse was that Feyre's mom was like, I'm gonna also ask this one to take care of her sisters. Talk about a shitty family, man. So, of course, Feyre is out hunting for her family. She spouts a doe in the forest, but then she also sees this suspiciously large wolf. And she's like, this wolf could be a fairy. And fairies are really scary. I shouldn't kill it, but I have these ash arrows that are supposed to kill fairies. I shouldn't kill it. No, I'm gonna fucking kill it, and I'm gonna sell its pelt. Its coat. Call me Feyre, because I cannot fucking talk or read. So she kills the wolf. And surprise, surprise, Feyre was right. It's a fae. And one night, actually I think it's the same night, they're eating their deer, because she did end up killing the deer. She's eating the deer with her family, and there's a loud ass bang, and there's this huge beast thing in the doorway, and he's like, you killed my friend. And Feyre's like, oh my god, it's a fairy. It's a fae. And her sisters, so all the humans think that iron is what you get rid of a fae with. So they have these little bracelets with iron, and they're like, stay away. Oh my god. And Feyre's like, yeah, I killed this beast. And so Tamlin, who is the beast, is like, here's the treaty. I can either kill you for killing a fairy, or you can come live in Prythian, the fairyland, for eternity. And Feyre's like, well, I'd rather not die today, so I guess I'll go over to this fucking fairyland. And so she has to cross the wall for her war crimes. It's not a war crime. They're not at war yet. So Feyre enters Prythian with this large beast, who then transforms into this conventionally attractive blonde man with a really weird mask. And then she notices everyone has a really weird mask. Fairy people are really weird. These masks aren't even cute, and they won't take them the fuck off. And so Feyre's like, I fucking hate it here. And one night, she wakes up to her dad. Again, her deadbeat dad is outside, and she's like, wait, what the hell? And this whole time, she's been like, I want to go home. I want to see my awful fucking family. I want to be there with my awful dad. I miss my terrible fucking family. She's living in this mansion. She's got a servant. She gets all this good food. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I get it. Like, you want to be home. You don't know what these people want from you. But like, girl, really? You want to go back to them? So determined to get the hell out of there, she believes that her dad is outside. And he's like, come on, we gotta go. Turns out it's just some random fucking beast that can transform into people. And Tamlin's like, girl, even I knew that your family wasn't coming for you. That's embarrassing. And so she goes back to bed. Throughout her time at the Spring Court, she meets a couple of different people, one of them notably being Lucian. I'm going to call him Lucian. I don't care. Who is the king of Sassy Man Apocalypse. And he keeps making these weird little things about like a woman where he's like, is she going to find out? Blah, 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 like, which is blah, 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 woman. And Amarantha's like, Amarantha. And Feyre's like, who the fuck is this woman? Is Tamlin macking on some bitch? How dare he kidnap me, this average but beautiful girl, and talk about some other woman? That's kind of fucked up. And so as she gets kind of closer to Tamlin and Lucian, they reveal that there's like this blight across the land that's letting in these terrible creatures. And they're like, there's this terrible blight across the land, and it's something about this woman. And Feyre's like, well, let me help. Like, I'm stuck here forever too. You know, I'm here because I killed your fucking fairy friend. So I think I can hold my own. But Tamlin's like, women. No. If they ever do a live action, which I guess they're supposed to, but who the fuck knows now. If they ever do a live action, I think they should just have Andrew Tate play Tamlin. Get that man a wig. Get him on there. Everyone already fucking hates him. So yeah, Tamlin doesn't let Feyre help because he hates women. He doesn't actually hate women. I'm just being really dramatic. So Kalamazoo, whatever happens. And essentially what it is, it's giant. I like to think of it as like this giant little festival, fairy festival, where all of these fairies are down. It's like Love Island. It's Fairy Love Island. Okay. They're all there to get their shit going. And they're all there because Tamlin has to bone a random fairy so that he can fertilize the lands with magic. Whatever. Okay. Weird. And Tamlin's like, don't go. Like, do not go. But he doesn't explain why, because Tamlin literally is dumb as fucking rocks. Because if he just explained, then, oh no, she wouldn't have come out of her room. Same with Lucien. He's like, don't go. Why? Secret. And so, of course, she's like, I think I can go. So she goes, and she meets Mystery Shadow Man, who we don't know his name at the time, but it's Resand. And then Lucien finds her and he's like, you fucking idiot, and takes her back. And so Tamlin, who's under this like fairy sex magic, finds her because he's like in his feral mode or wherever, where he's like, I must put my dick in something, and I want to put my dick inside this female, this woman, this human woman, but I smell her and I can't find her, so now I have to put my dick in something else. And so he finds her like in the kitchen or something, and he like bites her neck, and it's like a very sexually driven scene, but nothing really happens. They don't kiss. Feyre just gets a hickey, and Tamlin growls a lot or whatever. And then stuff keeps going, like Tamlin and Feyre fall in love, whatever. We don't need to talk about that. And then there's like the spring summer solstice or whatever the fuck it was, and Tamlin, it's like another big fairy festival where they just dance and drink and stuff, and Feyre drinks the wine even though Lucien's like, don't do that, dude, like, you're gonna get drunk, you're not gonna have fun. And then Feyre just like actually has fun because Tamlin plays the fiddle for her, and they fall even more in love. So just as Feyre is getting comfortable in the spring court, Mystery Shadow Man Resand comes to the manor, and he's like, well, you don't like when I drop by unannounced? And so Tamlin has Feyre glamored behind him. She's invisible. She is trying her best to like stay really quiet, but then they're really stupid and don't think about it because Resand looks at the table and he's like, why are there 3 plates? Who's here? And then he's like, who's glamored here? How dare you hide someone from me? And then they have to reveal Feyre. And he's like, oh, you, what's your name? And Feyre just says, Claire Better, whatever her last name is, who's a girl in her village. She couldn't even make up a fake name. She gave the real name of a girl in her village. And so after this interaction, Tamlin gets super spooked because he's like, oh my god, you told him a name, he knows you're here, we have to send you back to the human realm. And Feyre's like, wait, what about the treaty? And he's like, I lied. and then they like, and he's like, we're sending you home tomorrow. And Feyre's like, what the hell? Like, I don't want to go back. Now I don't want to go back and see my shitty family. And Tamlin's like, you kind of have to, but we can have sex. And I'll tell you I love you. And Feyre's like, okay, fine. And so Tamlin tells her he loves her, and they're like boning or whatever. And Feyre's like, thanks. She doesn't say it back, which is a huge thing with this book. She doesn't say back. And then she goes home the next morning. And she has another opportunity to tell him that she loves him, and she doesn't. Even though in her monologue she's like, I love him, I miss him, but I won't tell him I love him because I don't know. Like, Feyre's kind of stupid. Once she's at home, she sees how well Tamlin treated her family. He sent them money. He basically, like, made it as if their father never... He basically made it as if their father never lost his fortune. Okay? And so they have this huge house, this huge manor with servants. Her dad is, like, a merchant again. He's, like, counting out their riches, and Feyre was supposed to be, like, was glamored to be at her aunt's house, like her sick aunt's house. Like, she was basically a hospice nurse or whatever. And Nesta, who's the older bitch sister in this book, which, funny enough, like, reading this back, I was like, yeah, Nesta was really a bitch, because by the end of the series, like, Nesta becomes one of my favorite characters. And Nesta is suspicious because the glamour didn't work. We find out that Tamlin's glamour didn't work on Nesta because for some reason Nesta has this, like, impenetrable brain. And she's like, I even went to the wall for you, but had to turn around. And Feyre's like, what? You came for me? I thought you didn't like me, bitch. And Nesta's like, a big scary wolf man came and got you. You didn't think I was going to come find you? Elaine and Dad were literally, like, acting like nothing happened. It was so fucking weird. And so Feyre tells her everything that happened. And then she tells Elaine and Nesta everything. They're like, you have to go back. Like, that's where you're happy. You have to go back. And so Feyre goes back to the Spring Court, and she finds out it's abandoned. And all who's left is Alice, who is her, like, personal maid, I guess. And she's like, you didn't break the curse. Like, she's so mad at her that I was like, Alice, what the hell? Like, she didn't fucking know. She was like, you didn't say you loved him. He loved you, and I could tell that you loved him. You didn't tell him you loved him, and now they're under the mountain with this bitch, this raggedy old hag. How fucking dare you? And I was like, damn, girl, like, she didn't know. Like, she didn't know. Like, she didn't do it on purpose. And so Feyre's like, take me to under the mountain. And so I was just like, fine, here you go. And so once she's there, Feyre strikes a deal with the raggedy old lady herself, Amarantha, which is essentially that she can either she can either survive 3 trials or solve an easy fucking riddle. Okay? And then everyone will be free. But here's the stipulation. Amarantha says, if you solve this riddle, everyone will be immediately free. And then she says, if you solve 3 trials, everyone will be freed. So Feyre wasn't specific enough when it came to her bargain. And essentially, she kind of got fucked over because she's an idiot. Feyre barely survives the first trial, which is what she has to fight this giant-ass worm. And she's in, like, the worm poop, and she eventually kills the worm. But through it, she gets really, really, like, fucking beat the fuck down. And she's waiting for Lucien to come to her cell, and she's actively dying. Like, she's literally dying of infection. Her bones are fucking broken. She's got open wounds. And so who comes to save her? Rhysand. And Rhysand's like, I'll save you. Sorry, let me move over here. Rhysand's like, I'll save you if you strike a deal with me, okay? I will heal you and I will help you if you agree to come spend a week with me every month in the Night Court. Which at this point, Feyre only knows that the Night Court is like this scary place. Under the Mountain was designed after the Night Court. So she's like, fuck, I gotta go to hell every fucking week out of all the months of my life. And she's like, fine, because she's literally dying. What else is she gonna do? And so Rhys gets Feyre drunk every night to keep her from breaking. Essentially just so that she can get through every single day until the next trial. Because the trials happen like once every full moon or some moon phase. I don't even remember. Some stupid time. And so she gets really drunk. She's dancing and she has to wear this like piece of cloth basically. And it like helps her forget her time here and gives Resand a reason to be up in her biz all the time, which essentially is like, I guess that makes sense. And then the second task is that Feyre has to read something and choose the right answer. She's illiterate. And if she gets this wrong, both she and Lucien, who's in a little bird cage, die, okay? And so Lucien is like, answer the question, just answer the fucking question. And Feyre's like, I can't, I don't know. Like, she's not saying that out loud because she doesn't want Amarantha to know that she's illiterate, but she's literally like, I can't fucking read. Like, I don't know what the fuck the answer is. Should I choose 2 because Tamlin and me? Should I choose 3 because 3 sisters in a bed? And then Resand, who, since they have this bond, can speak to her. Okay, she has a little tattoo with a little fucking eye in her hand, in her palm. And he's like, choose number 3. And she's like, okay, so she chooses it. She's right. Just barely survives. And we repeat. Okay, we repeat. Feyre keeps getting drunk until, I think it's like the night before her third and final trial. This whole time, Tamlin's like, oh God, Tamlin's fucking annoying. This whole time, he's like, being very stoic, which Lucien kind of describes it to where he's like, he's trying not to let Amarantha see what torture she's doing on you affects him the most. So like, he's just not reacting to her. She even like looks at him and she's like, I love you. Like at the beginning of the, when she makes the deal after she sees fucking, I forgot to mention this. So Claire, that human girl that she gave the name to Resand, she's fucking dead in the rafters over there. And she sees him and she's like, oh, fuck, that could have been me. I'm doing this because I love you, Tamlin. And Tamlin's like this. Like, stupid. And so she literally, like, thinks that he's under a spell. He's not. He's just not fucking reacting. Which, like, just even a tiny little flinch. Like, nothing. And so Feyre and Tamlin, like motions her over somewhere, like very, not like this, but like very discreetly. So they go to this little hallway, and instead of being like, are you okay? Like, I just want you to know that like, I'm always worried about you. I love you. I'm so grateful that you're doing this for my love, but please be careful, be safe. He just tries to fucking bang her. This bitch is dying and putting her life on the line for this crazy ass bitch, and you want to bang her? You don't even want to say thanks? So, obviously, because they're not fucking discreet, because both Tamlin and Feyre are gone, Resand's like, oh, fuck, what the hell? And he goes and finds them, and he's like, you're fucking kidding me, right? Like, he's so mad at Tamlin. He's like, kind of understands why Feyre did it because she's Feyre. And and he's like, you're fucking kidding me. And so he's like, get the fuck out of here. He tells Tamlin to get out. And then he's like, Amarantha's probably going to come because she knows that Tamlin's missing. The whole reason that Amarantha's doing this whole thing is because she wants to get with fucking Tamlin. So of course she doesn't want to see Tamlin getting it on with his little human girl, okay? And so Resand's like, oh, fuck, what I gotta do? So he, like, pins her against the wall and he, like, starts kissing her because then, of course, Amarantha and Tamlin walk in. And Amarantha's like, glad to see that my pet has his own pet. Because Resand is essentially Amarantha's prisoner, sex prisoner. So it's, like, really fucking sad. So, yeah, that's the night before her final trial. And finally we get to the final trial. She has to kill 3 fairies, like just stab them in the heart. And obviously this is really hard because it's like 2 people, the first 2 are like people that she doesn't know. But she's like, I know these people have lives. I know these people have loved ones, like friends and stuff. And I'm fucking killing them. So she finally gets to the 3rd one because she's like, I have to save everyone. It's for the greater good. off the mask, it's Tamlin. And she's like, what the hell? And she thinks back, she's like, oh fuck, I have to kill my lover. But it wouldn't make sense if Amarantha was like, kill the thing that I want most. You know, like hold on. Okay. She's like, it doesn't really make sense that Amarantha would make me kill like the one thing that's making her do all of this shit. And so she's like, oh yeah, one time Lucien said that Tamlin has a heart of stone, which turns out to not be like a random fucking phrase. It turns out to be real. Like, he has a heart of stone, which, you know what, makes sense. And so she stabs him, and obviously like the knife dents because he has a heart of stone, and she doesn't die, and he doesn't die. But of course, Feyre wasn't specific when she made the whole deal about the 3 trials. So Amarantha's like, well, you won, but you didn't tell me when to free him, so oops. And Feyre's like, you're fucking kidding me. And so she's like thinking, she's like, oh, the riddle. The riddle's the only way that I can get them freed immediately. When I tell you that the first time I read the book, I immediately was like, this shit's gonna be love. And I was really hoping that it wasn't, because I was like, that'd be so fucking cheesy and bad. The answer to the riddle is love. So Feyre finally gets it. She's like, the answer to the riddle, it's love. Like, I imagine it as that one scene in Mean Girls where Katie is like, the limit does not exist. The limit does not exist. Like, that's how it is. And then, obviously, because a bond, a bargain, a deal is like above all in fairyland. And so immediately the curse just like breaks and all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. And Amarantha is absolutely obliterated, but not before snapping Feyre's human little, tiny little skinny neck. Okay? So Feyre's actively dying. She's like, oh no. And then she's dead. But she's looking at herself through someone else's eyes. And she's like, whose eyes am I looking through? Oh, it's Rhysand. Oh, they're killing Amarantha. But I'm dead. But I hear this bond, and I can go back to my body. Do I want to die, or should I try and live? I mean, I guess I did all this stuff. I guess I should probably try and live. God, I don't really want to. I'm kind of tired. Ugh. But then Amarantha's dead, so I guess I should live. And then so Rhysand and all the other, Rhysand, Tamlin, and all the other High Lords are like, I mean, I guess she did all of this. Like, this random human girl did all of this for us. I guess we can revive her. So since all of the High Lords are together, they can each give a little kernel of their power. Okay, and then she's magically revived. She's born again. Okay, she's Jesus Christ. She's born again, but now she's a little fairy girl. She's not a human girl. She's a fairy. She's an immortal fairy. She's got the pointed ears. Okay, and so now she's reborn. And in the ending parts of the book, her and Tamlin are like all lovey-dovey again, whatever, like, yeah, you guys love each other, that's so gross. And then, so she finally talks with Rhys one more time, and he's like, you know, the night court's not that bad, just remember, I'll come get you one of these weeks for my bargain. And then he, like, looks at her, and he's like, I gotta go, and just leaves. And Feyre's like, what the fuck? Because he, like, realized something, but he didn't tell her, he just left. And then her and Tamlin go home to the Spring Court. And that's the book. Okay? That is the book. Yeah. So here is what I like. Okay? Upon my second reading, I really appreciate the foreshadowing. There was a lot of good foreshadowing that I did not catch the first time because obviously I didn't really know what the fuck she was foreshadowing. Okay? And usually the first time I read a book, if I don't tab it, I'm going to forget every single thing about the book. Which is why I'm rereading ACOTAR, because I didn't tab it the first time. But I could tell you what happened in Crescent City and Throne of Glass. Easy, because I tabbed them. I also love the fun little Easter eggs. And I will say, I won't spoil anything, because If you haven't read the entire Sarah J. Maas log, I don't want to spoil some things, but there are a little bit of like little hints to the other books and some things that hadn't come out yet. I felt like maybe that's just me, that I could be like, oh, interesting. Why is this from Throne of Glass in here? Or why is this alluding to something that comes out in Throne of Glass or Crescent City? So I really appreciate that because this book came out in 2015. Almost a whole decade ago. I will also say Under the Mountain is a fairly interesting part of the book. It's a fairly interesting third part of the book. I remember when I first read this book, it took me so long to read the first book. It took me 2 months. I read this book, I reread it in about a week, mostly because I knew what was coming. I knew it was going to get more interesting. And when I read it the first time, I spent like the first 2/3 of the book were like 2 months long. And then I finally got to the third part, the third act, finished it in like a day. So it is like a very interesting third part of the book. And I will say that Feyre and Rhysand, I didn't add it, are still likable in this book. I'm looking at you, A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames. I'll get to that when I get to that book. But I will also say Sarah J. Maas's writing is still good in this one. And I don't come after me. Don't come after me. But, okay. Sarah J. Maas's writing does take a little bit of a dip the more that she releases books. I think because she's trying to release so many things, everything's intertwined and connected. But coming from Throne of Glass, her first release, her first Fae release, whatever. I know she's got other books. But like, think about it this way. Her first Fae release. All the way to House of Sky and Breath. Tell me that the writing quality has not severely diminished, okay? Don't kill me. Please don't kill me, okay? Now, what I don't like. Having to put up with these weird fucking men. All the time, like the whole thing, I'm just like, why are these old ass men fucking with a teenager? Weird, so weird. I hate that that's a thing in these books where like you got this ancient ass man who looks like he's like 28, okay? He's 500 years old. He's 500 years old. And I don't care that like technically in like Fae development, that means that he's 28 mentally when he developed as a Fae, because like when they're 36 they're still babies or whatever. I don't fucking know, but still, like in my head I just can't do it. Like I'm like, why is a 19-year-old fucking around with a 500-year-old man? I don't care that he looks like he's 23. Why? You know, there's such a weird power imbalance. And I will say the pacing of this book, not for me, okay? So fucking slow for most of the book. And then randomly, you get hit by a fucking train. I have an idea. Let's ask the top expert on this opinion. Coming to you now with our exclusive interview of authors and why they like to torture their fucking readers at the very end of their book after making them suffer through fucking nothing for 300 pages. Hi, Sarah. I have one question for you. Why? Perfect. Thank you. Final thoughts. Overall, I actually ended up liking this book more than I did the first go around. I think the first go around I gave it like 3 stars, and I liked it a little bit more this time, but not by much more. So it's 3.5 stars now out of 5. But I think it was more enjoyable because I know what's coming. And I know that it gets somewhat better. if you've read ACOTAR, then you understand. But that's it. That is book report for ACOTAR. So yeah, thanks for watching. So sorry, girl. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry for going absolutely batshit in this video. It's just been a minute. If you've read ACOTAR and you have your own personal thoughts on this book, feel free to leave them in the comments. Please be respectful. I understand that we all have different opinions about books, and what I like, you may not like. What you don't like, I may love. So, be respectful in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on all of my socials. I have a book Instagram called Celeste Reads a Lot. I have a TikTok where I also mostly focus on book content, called Smellest. I also have my Goodreads, which is Celestello, if you want to keep up with my actual written reviews. And I actually recently just started a podcast with one of my good friends, Natalie. I have made a community post about it. So there's a link there on my community page, but then there's also going to be a link in the description down below if you would like to listen to it. It is called Wait, Can I Be Mean? And it's really just me and Natalie complaining about things for like an hour, with also a book club segment at the end. So this month we are reading The 7-Year Slip. We are doing like 10 chapters a week, with a projected final book club episode at the end of each month. So if you want to listen and read along, pick up this book. I got mine at Target. It's very good. I'm on chapter 10, and just, I guess, finish it before the last Monday in February so that you can listen to our discussion. You can listen to that on Spotify or watch on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for putting up with me. I hope you all have a good week, month, year. If you never come back here again, hope you have a good life. And I hope whatever you're reading is amazing and a life-changing book. And again, thank you so much for watching. Bye.